Hello YouTube, this is Furious Maximum, and it only took me 100 videos to make a channel emblem. Anyway, today we have an updated list of 10 mods for Fallout 4 on the PS4. First, and no surprise here, is OC Decorator. Normally, when you want to decorate your settlements with dishes, cups, microscopes, and other everyday items, you need to drop them from your inventory. But after being placed, they can be knocked off by glitchy settlers or stupid cows that love walking on tables. OC Decorator fixes this by allowing you to convert these items into static objects that can't be knocked around. A real time saver.
We put on some wonderful radio plays. You should listen sometime.
This next set of clips highlights 3 mods, but it's more like 2, because AWKCR is a necessity to make UCO function. Simple Settlers is simple but effective. While some specific settlers are named, the randomly generated settlers are not. This mod fixes that by giving them names and a much wider variety of appearances. UCO, Unified Clothing Overhaul, allows the creation of armor and clothing at a different but visually similar workbench called the Armorsmith Workbench. This allows for much greater flexibility in how you gear up yourself, your settlers, and even your store mannequins. This mod also allows this process with weapons at a weaponsmith workbench. This saves quite a bit of time, assuming you somewhat realistically have the necessary cloth, leather, steel, or whatever. The real combat effective time saver is most legendary mods can be detached and stored, like as if they were scopes or bayonets or something, and reattached onto other pieces of clothing or weapons. A massive time saver. For example, you got an explosive pipe pistol, but you want to detach that explosive mod and reattach it onto an auto shotgun. Gone Hunting slash Fishing is an expanded set of animations for your settlers to increase immersion. It gives settlers different meat cutting animations, such as gutting a type of deer called a radstag, cutting pieces of meat, or gutting and scaling fish. Because 200 years into the post-apocalyptic future, we're pretty sure the settlers aren't all a bunch of petulant vegans. Here's a little bit of a visual tutorial on how Gone Hunting slash Fishing is used. There are mats inside the resources food menu section, and the mat needs to be placed with the concave end towards the direction you want the settler in question to face. Now, the menu will let you move the table to the mat, but it will not let you move the mat to the table. So beware that it can be a little finicky trying to get it into position. In the case of the fish basket, it's just visually more difficult to line up. However, the menu will let you move the table to the basket or the basket to the table. And sometimes it'll take several tries, as you can see by my first attempt here, which looks like trash. So you're going to see a second attempt where it lines up at least a little better. SCRAP stands for Settlement Cleaning Reveals Absolute Perfection. What this does is simple. It lets you scrap much, much more. But save before you start scrapping. This mod will let you scrap things that you might need other mods or an earlier save to restore.
Got some stuff for sale. Care to have a look?
USO, Unlocked Settlement Objects, does just that. Vastly increases the amount of objects with which you can furnish your settlements. It's also a good backup with the previous mod listed, Scrap, if you accidentally scrap a structure, or if you want some otherwise immovable objects in different spots. I'm speeding through it quite a bit, but not all of the vast selection is shown here. PAWA, Power Armored Wasteland Adventures, allows a lot more options under the paint and decal sections for power armor, letting you give your factions more matching appearances if you so choose. It also grants extra abilities like increased carrying capacity or reduced battery usage while sprinting, depending on which paint job you select.
If it was up to me, I'd take every barrel, muty, and synth and shoot them into space. It's a shame we lost Paladin Dance. He was one of the best.
Constructible Faction Guards lets you go into the Defense Turret menu and select different types of guards, stationary or patrol, to add to your settlements for much greater immersion. They add to your settlement's population, so a unit of food and water will realistically be needed for each guard you build, and the defense values are different depending on the guard. And they still can't be traded with like settlers. Still, an awesome mod I wish I found sooner than my 15th posted build here on Spectacle Island.
Taking on a Deathclaw without backup is a great way to get yourself killed.
The last of these 10 mods but definitely not the least, is Overgrowth. Because after 200 years, grass and foliage would definitely return. And with that, I thank the modders for their great work, and I thank you for your time.